As our prediction rivalry heated up last week, I have earned some bragging rights over Jotham and our respective picks. But nonetheless, we had a fantastic week of sports with the World Series shaping up to have an exciting finish, the Big Ten playing their first weekend of college football, and the NFC East proving why it's the worst division in the NFL. Predictions and bold takes all coming up next with your hosts, Andrew Hale and Jotham Israel. But first, a word from our amazing sponsor, Anchor.
Anchor is a completely free and easy to use platform for podcasting. A computer or even a mobile device with a functional internal or external microphone is all you need to start recording your podcast with Anchor. When you do finish recording your podcast audio, you can simply edit it and upload it to the biggest podcasting platforms like iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and more. If you were like me and you didn't have the foggiest clue on how to start a podcast, then Anchor is the perfect place to start. For more information, go to anchor.fm on the web or download the Anchor app on your mobile device.
Jotham, I have 3 words for you.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Brett Phillips, baby. Brett Phillips. Freaking Brett Phillips. Dude, some people probably he just went from unknown to absolute legend in one swing of the bat, bro. He was one strike away from just being another pinch hit unclutch player, but no, he stood out just like the Tampa Bay Rays have been doing all year long. Dude, that was the epitome of Tampa Bay Rays baseball in 2020. That is the epitome. Brett Phillips is the epitome of this.
That was one of the most chaotic plays I had ever seen. Actually, not even a play. That entire inning was pretty chaotic, from the Kevin Kiermaier bloop single where 2 dudes tried to dive for the ball at the same time, plus along with the broken bat. It was just chaotic all around. And then don't even get me started on that final play. The liner to Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts misplays it, throws it home, or throws it to the cutoff man. The cutoff man throws it home, missed by Will Smith, and Randy Arozarena trips on his way home, and then he slides headfirst for the game winner. That was insane. I had never seen anything like it. I can't even analyze it because I still don't know what happened. This is crazy.
Okay, 2 things. One, it was funny to see all the broadcasters botch Randy Arozarena's name for one, and also, say Brent Phillips instead of Brett Phillips. That was funny. But also, people, I don't know why people are misconceiving this, because that was Chris Taylor who had that error in the outfield, not Mookie Betts. Because I'm seeing everybody was like, "Wow, Mookie, fine. Where was this Mookie Betts against the Braves?" I'm like, that was Chris Taylor. But anyways, the play was probably so crazy that we thought it was Mookie because it was in Mookie's area. maybe that's why people thought it was Mookie off of the bat, because it was more in the right field. But seriously though, dude. Anyways, that was crazy. I was hoping and praying something like that would happen, but dude, it there's no words you can't even make this stuff up, man.
That was insane overall, crazy. Uh yeah, like you say, you can't make it up. I had never seen any play like that, and people were talking about Dave Roberts mismanaging the bullpen. There's nothing you could really do there, honestly. I mean, I don't think it's his fault. His team really just needs to make the plays.
Yeah, and that was the one thing I stressed about in this World Series. How are the bullpens gonna hold up? And I've been saying this ever since Dodgers Braves. How are the bullpens going to hold up? And which bullpen is gonna crumble first? And the thing about the Rays is that they used a lot of their relievers, but still they were hanging with the Dodgers. They were still hanging with the Dodgers. I don't think I've ever seen a team just keep going back and forth with the Dodgers, because the Dodgers was, their usual offensive selves humming, just inning after inning they were scoring. But so were the Rays. I was shocked that the Rays offense kept up with the Dodgers. I was like, yo, that's crazy. This game is crazy. And the thing is, before the before the bottom of the ninth inning even started, it was already an instant classic because of those middle innings. That was insane, dude.
Yeah, I believe the only time there wasn't a run scored from like the fifth to the ninth was the bottom of the eighth, and that was it was crazy. If you like offense, you would have liked last night because boy, that was an offensive shootout.
Yeah, even though it was not double digit runs, that was an offensive just oh my goodness, dude. And it's so funny because there were so many things that happened in the game. It feels overshadowed. Like Justin Turner's first inning home run in back to back games, that got overshadowed. Corey Seager, bro, the Dodgers spoiled 4 hit games from Justin Turner and Corey Seager. They were the first teammates in World Series history to have 4 hits and a home run in the same game in a World Series. And the Dodgers blew that. Oh my gosh.
Hey, you can't just win off of offense alone. You need your defense to help too, and that's what killed him.
Yeah, and going back to Mookie Betts, even if that was Mookie who bobbled that ball, which it wasn't, he still went 0 for 5. Mookie Betts went 0 for 5? Yeah, yikes. That's a recipe for not instant failure because it's not like everybody relies on Mookie Betts. The Dodgers literally have 8 other hitters who can hit home runs or just get base hits at that. But you just gotta think if Mookie would have got one of those hits and continued those innings, maybe the Dodgers could have put up more runs because the Dodgers definitely were knocking on the door many times and they only got in 7 runs. They had what 14, 15 hits in the game and they only scored 7 runs off of it. That's tough. That is really legitimately tough. And the back and forthness of those innings. I mean, Brandon Lau when he hit that home run to put the Rays up. I mean, every I wanted to think that the game was over, but we all knew it was not over with this Dodgers team. That the score was not going to be 5-4. There was no way.
Yeah, yeah, it was. There's like I've said this all postseason. If you have a team where your 1 through 9 hitters can almost produce the exact same, I that those are the most scariest teams. I mean, we saw the Yankees. They were very scary as well because their 1 through 9 hitters, all of them could have that one clutch hit. Obviously, it didn't turn out because the Rays beat them. But same thing with the Dodgers here. Every hitter, even on their bench, but their 1 through 9 hitters can produce, and that's what makes them so scary, and that's why they will never go down without a fight.
Yeah, and dude, I know you have bragging rights over me and something else, but I have bragging rights over you because you asked me if the Rays were even gonna make it to this episode. Oh yeah, you know the answer now, right?
No, right? No, no,
Oh,
I didn't.
that's big cap now. But seriously, dude, I honestly thought that after game 1 went, I didn't know if the Rays could clap back. I did not know.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, after that game 1, I was like, hey, it was a question. It wasn't a statement. So
Yeah, you was a
it
question.
was
I,
a
I didn't
question.
say statement. I didn't say statement.
It was a question though because after that game 1, I was like, oh, the Dodgers look real good. And to be honest with you, to be completely honest with you, they should have won last night. Obviously, they should have
Dude,
easily won, and this series would have been a lot different. Talking about it today, if they did win yesterday.
this is the game fours in a 2-1 series are so that it's like the most important game. It's like the game 7 before the game 7 because if the Rays would have lost, they would have been down 3-1. Now you're asking them to win 3 straight against the best team in baseball, the best team with the best record in baseball. That would have been super duper tough. But now it's a 3-game series, and all of a sudden, Clayton Kershaw just went from pitching to win the World Series to now you got to get your team, avoid trailing in the series. Oh boy, that was a game that the Dodgers should have had, man. That was bad. That was bad, dude. And, I mean, there's so much that the Dodgers did but they obviously just belly flopped, man. They belly flopped. That was a game they should they should have won. Randy Rosarena literally got sniped around third base, lost his helmet, lost his footing, lost his balance, and he still scored the winning run on the same play. Will Smith tried to do that quick blind tag, that blind swipe tag, but Randy Rosarena wasn't even close to the plate because he tripped. Obviously, he didn't know that because he was too busy trying to focus on trying to catch the ball and swipe tag. But still, dude, oh my goodness. Whew.
Dude, that game could have ended in 100 different ways. It's crazy how the game of baseball works. Again, there's so many ways that game could have ended, and it ended in the probably the most bizarre way that anyone has ever seen. Overall, crazy game, crazy finish. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have my eyes put. I might watch this game over Seahawks Cardinals. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But dude, yeah, World Series. This is a series now. This is a series. The Rays do not go away, man. Let's go.
Yeah, but hey, college football, Big Ten. That was exciting yesterday. I know. Both of us we said some last week along the lines of our games are somewhat easy, right? I think our games were far from easy, if you ask me.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't mind, you know, Penn State losing in that game. I really don't. The only team that I don't really want them to lose to is Ohio State. That is the one team in the Big Ten I do not want to see Penn State losing to. That's the one team. But other than that, I'm fine with every. Hey, if Penn State loses every other conference game but Ohio State, I'm fine. I don't want to say I'm a loser, but I know I say I'm a Penn State fan, but I'm not like die hard. I'm just, it's just something about Penn State that really catches me. But I'm not like it's either Penn State or nobody else. You know?
Yeah. Hey, that makes sense. I mean, that. But speaking of the game, I have one question. Do you think that he got in on that 2 point conversion?
Yeah. I mean, it was close. The camera angles. There's some. I wish they had like a bird's eye view of the pylon, because I it was so close. I mean, the ball obviously landed on the ground before the ball crossed the plane. But on one side of the ball is out of bounds, but the other is still sticking up, and that is across the plane. It was so tough to call. They might as well have just let the call stand. So I really didn't care. That was a great game. That was an insane game. And I know Penn State might be kicking themselves for not only allowing Indiana to win the game the way they did, but that Russian touchdown at
Yeah.
the end. If dude would have just taken the knee. Oh, ouch.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the coaching staff may be under fire for that because that I know the coaching staff said that did not cost him the game, but it did. It 100% did. If he just falls down in front of the end zone and takes two knees, game over. You don't even get to overtime. You don't even get to that 2 point conversion. And my opinion, I don't think he got in, but since it was ruled a touchdown on the field, there's no chance that they were going to overturn it due to undisputable evidence. But nonetheless, I'm happy for Indiana. They had the second longest losing streak against top 10 opponents. That was so impressive. That was a great game. I really like the boldness. Instead of kicking the PAT, they go for two to try and win it, and it paid off. But man, that game was so fun to watch.
Yeah, I loved it, man. It was that finish was just oh my gosh. You want to that's something that you see in them football movies.
Yeah,
That's a finish that you see in
slow motion
football.
into the end zone.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that was absolutely insane. But we both had a couple of disagreements in college football, and it was absolutely lopsided.
Hey, we traded. You got Michigan on me, which is fine because I'm happy with the fight that Minnesota put up. I bet you were a tad surprised by the fight they put up. I picked them. I was confident. It's all right. And then the Cincinnati SMU
Oh
game.
my god.
I told you. I was very confident in that pick. That's one of the picks I was most confident in. and I think that proved why, because we saw Cincinnati again
Steamroll.
prove how good they are.
They them they just got a hold of the Mustang and said, "Let me turn you into a Bugatti real quick," because that was just demolition. I was watching the game. I'm thinking, is this the S this Cincinnati defense just absolutely put that SMU offense on clamps, and I was a big believer in Shane Buechele in that offense, and Buechele, Bentley, and Robertson. I was like, oh, that's nasty, but oh, oh boy, yeah, I took a big step back on that one.
Hey, like I said, I don't think anyone should ever doubt Cincinnati. Okay, you can doubt them against like Alabama because no other conference team in a playoff has really proved their worth against an SEC team. But nonetheless, it has been just Cincinnati's season. I think again, I think they will be the Utah of this season. I think Cincinnati will make the playoffs this year. They look really good.
Mm. I want to talk about Rutgers. What's what that you, the Michigan State was looking like my dad with Illinois in the NCAA football, just turnover after turnover after turnover, and I wasn't even controlling Rutgers.
Hey, if anyone's shocked by that, I don't know why you are. Because new coaching staff on both sides. Yes, okay, Michigan State has technically never lost to Rutgers in the Big Ten, but it was a good time to get that, I don't know, curse off your back. But nonetheless, I wasn't surprised by this. I knew it was going to be a learning curve going into the season for both teams. But Rutgers, they got their head coach back, who was there before, who was a really good coach, and he proved why. I mean, Rutgers did not know how to win between his two stints as a head coach there. They did not know how to win. They looked really bad, but now I think they have something to prove. I mean, they did look very good. They have so many transfers from other Big Ten schools: Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Ohio State. Their team is full of a combination of transfers from all the blue bloods in the Big Ten. But hey, I think they have something to prove. I think they will be pretty good this year. I'm not going to call them like insane and better than an Ohio State or anything, but I do think they will be a lot better than they were in years past. But as for Michigan State, again, I'm not surprised. I mean, the turnovers, yeah, that can happen. But again, new staff, it's going to take a while for them to learn. But next week against Michigan is going to be a tough game.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's go ahead and make some picks. Can Michigan State win that Bunyan Trophy?
Um, this may be the this is the most biased you'll ever see me, because in no way, shape, or form am I ever going to pick Michigan. Michigan State is going to win this one off of a botched punt. No, I'm kidding. Uh, I'm not confident in Michigan State, but again, I can't pick Michigan. Michigan, honestly, sure, their offense scored a ton last night, but they didn't really impress me. I think I've seen
Dang.
better Michigan teams. They didn't really impress me. Uh, I I think I think this one may get out of hand in Michigan's favor, but I'm gonna be happy if Michigan State can somehow get a few points on the board. But I'm taking Michigan State because you're never ever gonna see me pick Michigan.
Wow. Well, you're probably gonna go 0-2, Drew. I guess I'll pick Michigan just for the sake of it. I'm a big diehard Wolverines fan. No, I'm just playing. Um, if I was, we absolutely be torching this podcast right now. But um, I mean, if Michigan's offense, I expect their offense to clean up those turnovers. I know it sounds funny expecting something out of Michigan State that big, but they're not going to have no 7 turnovers back to back games. That I think that offense figured something out um late, you know. But I mean, just looking at how Michigan just dismantled Minnesota, that I mean, I don't know how I could pick against Michigan right now. I mean, there's no hatred that I have towards either of these teams, but I gotta go with who I think is the better team, man. I gotta go Michigan. I'm sorry, but um, can Kentucky put Georgia on upset alert?
No, I think Georgia will take this one. I think again, I don't think Kentucky's there. I don't think they are good enough to compete with blue bloods of the SEC. I don't think they they're there yet. I really don't. I think that Georgia, Alabama, Auburn has struggled this year, but they're always in there. I don't think Kentucky can compete with them yet. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna take Georgia. Georgia has looked pretty good. They haven't been truly their dominant selves this year, but again, I think that they will take this one.
Yeah, I agree. Georgia, Stetson Bennett, they put up a fight against Alabama, then they only played one half of football. That's the problem. Um, and then in the second half, they just absolutely crumbled. But I expect them to turn that around against Kentucky. This is a game that they should get past, because they don't want to look ahead to Florida in the cocktail party. They don't want to look ahead. They don't want to look past anybody on their schedule. So yeah. With that being said, I think they'll pull out this win against Kentucky. Georgia, stays in the top five, and yeah, they'll move on somehow. I want to see the upset though, I really do. But speaking of teams that are there, do you think Oklahoma State is there? Can they beat big bad Texas, which isn't that big and bad? But
I I do think they are there against Texas. I don't think they're there against the top teams in the country, but I still think that they are. I think anyone's good enough to beat Texas. Texas isn't good to me. Um, Oklahoma State is a very good team. Very promising future ahead of them. They have their coaching staff is good. Their players are good. Everything is better than Texas because again, Texas is not good this year. Oklahoma State will take this one.
dang, coming off of a win against Baylor, you are that not that confident in Texas at all?
No, I'm not. Not whatsoever. Texas is not good.
Dang, Matthew McConaughey would really, really disagree with you. Um, but what shocked me about Oklahoma State is that they were doing all this with their backup quarterback. I did not know Shane Illingworth was the backup. I had I had no idea Spencer Sanders was the initial starter before he got injured in the first quarter of the first game against Tulsa. I had no idea. I thought Shane Illingworth was the starter. I'm just looking at this Oklahoma State offense. I'm like, this is a pretty good offense right here. Shane Illingworth. I'm sitting here. I had no idea Shane Illingworth was the backup, bro.
Yeah, but he has made the best out of his opportunity as you can get because Oklahoma State's rolling right now.
Yeah, speaking of states, got a couple of states heading on the prime time stage. Only difference this time is that the Buckeyes bailed out with no whiteout to deal with. So Ohio State, Penn State. I gotta go Buckeyes, man. I don't see how Ohio State loses this game. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I'm going to take no. I'm kidding. Penn State's not even. It's not gonna be close. Ohio State's gonna take this one
Yeah, dumb.
by a margin. It's gonna be bad. I'm sorry. It's gonna be bad. But again, that Penn State loss to Indiana. Sure, they came back and they looked pretty good towards the end, but the first half was not pretty. And if you are going to make those mistakes and interceptions and missed field goals and whatnot, you can't do that against Ohio State. So they need to change something if they expect to make this game close whatsoever.
At least they have something to build off because you know they definitely dominated that game against Indiana statistically. They had 40 plus minutes of time of possession, and they had like what 2, 3 times more total yards than Indiana, and they still lost. That's obviously alarming. But dude, Penn State was definitely clicking in some aspects. They just couldn't. I don't know what to say. I really don't. Um, I mean, Michael Penix Jr. put that Indiana team basically on his back. I usually in those type of games, the underdog is fizzling away. But
Yeah.
That was one of the clutchest wins I've seen from an underdog in a long time. Like in terms of just having your back against the wall, down by 8, you got to get a 2 point conversion. They got two straight 2 point conversions, one to tie it and another to win it. I I don't know if I've seen that in my college football experiences. I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, there should be some very exciting college football on tap next week. I really want to see how these rankings are looking um come this afternoon because there's definitely gonna be some movement. Definitely gonna be some movement. Cincinnati might jump up there to the 7th spot. Miami might jump up to 10. I mean, I don't know. I gotta see, where they put, all these teams. I want to see who's jumping in the top 25. I think Oklahoma might make it back.
I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll just have to see about that. But we'll stick on the football train and go to the NFL, dude. And it was quite the week.
Yeah, I mean, hey, every time I don't pick the Lions, they win, so I might have to do that for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and on another note, well, I at least I can say I told you so for one game. I told you the Falcons were going to beat the Vikings, but
You can have that one on me.
then again, not only do you have Chiefs Bills on me, you also have Bears Panthers on me.
Yeah, yeah, I 100% do. Again, I had to say something last week because I still don't understand this logic. You pick the Bears against the Buccaneers, and then you pick the Panthers against the Bears. And then I asked you, does that make the Bucks and the Panthers on the same level? And you kind of hinted towards the answer of yes, which after we saw last week, do you still agree with that statement?
For now, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna give the Panthers one more week. No, I'm gonna give them 2 more weeks. Um, I don't I know it sounds crazy. But I have extreme confidence if and when Christian McCaffrey comes back that offense will get it going. And that was a Bears defense that they were playing against too. The Saints, I mean the Bucks. That was absolute demolition that they put on the Packers. Let's get that straight. That was demolition. I know last week when I was watching the game, I was like, so this is the team that I said that was on the same level as the Carolina Panthers. Out.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching. I was like, "Come on! There's no way the Panthers could compete against the Bucks." And if the Panthers went up against the Packers right now, uh, it might get ugly for the Panthers.
It wouldn't get that ugly, but um, it was definitely it was yet another one possession game. So it wasn't like they got the roofs, the top blown off of them. Um, Panthers were obviously still in it. You know, it's just that Teddy Bridgewater threw that interception and the game was over. Um, but yeah, dude, that was awkward. But you want to know what else is awkward? Um, well, we both picked the Browns to beat the Steelers, and uh, well, uh, they proved why they're the bigger brother. The Pittsburgh Steelers did.
I honestly don't think it was that awkward. I mean, I had confidence with the Browns going into the game. Sure, they got blown out, but maybe that's what they needed. That might help them going into the rest of the season and how to deal with those tougher teams. And hey, I'm honest. I don't think it's that awkward. I don't think it was that bad of a pick. Sure, again, they got blown out, which is fine, but that just proves where the Browns are at right now. They still need to progress in everything. I mean, Baker Mayfield, he struggled. He definitely needs to play better. I mean, it will be a long road for the Browns. Will they make the playoffs? I don't know, but I sure hope they do. I'm not mad at the pick. I guess, again, that just proves that the Pittsburgh Steelers are for real.
Yes, they are. I really want to see where how far this team can take it and if they can hold on to the number one seed in the AFC. But yeah, dude, I'm that I mean, hey, at least I have the point differential advantage because the Chiefs only beat the Bills by 9, and the Bears only beat the Panthers by 7, and the Falcons beat the Vikings by 17. So technically, in terms of point differential, I won last week,
Still trying to figure out ways to beat me. Can't do it, man. You can't do it.
dude. I still lead the series though.
Weeks only matter to me.
Yeah, dude. That's last week was pretty crazy, but dude, we also got some meme. We actually got a meme out of Giants Eagles. We actually got a meme. Freaking
And
Daniel Jones.
that's exactly what you expect out of a game like that. Two terrible teams, only memes can come from that.
Oh my gosh, dude. And although the trip didn't, cost the Giants a touchdown, it definitely symbolized the game.
Yeah, I mean, no, it didn't even symbolize the game. It symbolized the entire NFC, least.
Yikes, man. I mean, the Eagles definitely needed this one more because they are definitely more of a contender than the Giants are in that division. Um,
Yes, I would definitely rather see the Eagles in a playoff game than the Giants.
yeah, that's. I mean, I feel like the Eagles have the best chance when healthy. Um, as of right now, I mean, Cowboys minus Dak. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But dude, I think the Eagles are kind of they're the front runners right now because the Cowboys have a lot of dysfunction.
Yeah, that was they just aren't good. I mean, I think everyone should face it. They aren't good. They aren't good. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that it's not looking too good, man. But speaking of not looking too good, so everybody in the NFC East is 500 or better because the Rams couldn't beat the 49ers?
Yeah, that was it's really weird. The 49ers, it's some games they can pull off a good upset, and other games they get upset. I mean,
Doesn't
it's
make
really
sense.
that's been their season. It's really weird. The NFC West is it's up for grabs still. It's gonna be fun to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I want to take things to a more, I don't say boring scale, but obviously less spotlighted. Bro, so you mean to tell me that the Patriots lost to the Broncos again?
Yeah, that was very interesting. It didn't seem like anything was clicking with the Patriots. I mean, Cam Newton was out for a few weeks, and then I guess he never really got back on track with this team, and it really that really showed because losing to the Broncos, and especially that Broncos team, was not good.
Yeah, I that might have knocked them out of the AFC East race if it weren't for the Bills losing. But who doesn't lose to Chiefs? Oh wait, the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, dude, you lost on 6 field goals from Brandon McManus. Dude, bring him to Chicago. If in the long term, give that man 20 million for it to kick the no, I'm just playing. But seriously, something is
Knowing the Bears, they do that.
dude. I think if Cairo Santos keeps rolling like he is, I think we might need to stick with him for a bit
He
and
might
have
get that 20
Coutinho as
million
a
bag.
backup. I don't know, dude. I really don't know. I don't call the shots. I should, but I don't. Um, Also, look at Philip Rivers trying to look like his old self, coming back from 21-0 to uh who the the Bengals. You fell down 21-0 to the Bengals. Uh, that's odd.
Yeah, I mean, at least they redeemed themselves. That would have been an ugly loss if they didn't. As for the Bengals, I mean, that's really what young teams do. They start off hot and then they can't figure out how to actually finish and win the game. But they have a good matchup today against the Browns. Maybe that will change.
You oh boy, that's gonna be a gut check game. But yeah, let's go ahead and make some picks, and for week 7, we'll start with the undefeated matchup. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, Steelers Titans. We've been waiting for this one.
I like this game. I think this will be different from Titans Bills for a lot of reasons. I'm just 5-0 versus 5-0. It looks really cool. I like the Titans a lot. I like everything about them. I like their defense. I like their offense. As for the Steelers, I'm not really too familiar with them other than their wide receiving core and obviously Big Ben. Other than that, I mean, I suppose I mean obviously they're 5-0 for a reason. I guess that will be put to the test today. But Matt, I just like what I'm seeing from the Titans. I really do. I like everything about the Titans, and I think they're going to pull this one out.
Yeah, the big matchup in my eyes, that Titans offense versus that Steelers defense.
Yeah,
That's going to be a big, big, big. Oh my gosh. I think the Titans will pull this one out too. I mean, it's in Nashville. The yeah, the Steelers. I still don't think that they are for real just yet. I know they're undefeated, but an injured Browns team. Odell Beckham just had an illness, and Baker Mayfield has rib issues, and that was they probably should have won that game. When I received that news, I was like, oh no, he's nursing a rib injury during the game. They're not gonna win this, and instant regret for the pick. But now you're facing this Titans team. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I really don't think the Steelers can pull this one out. I mean, that Titans defense isn't bad either, dude. That Titans defense is not bad. Um, and I mean, can they neutralize Chase Claypool? That's going to be the big question because he's been making a name for himself. Big play
rookie
Chase.
rookie of the year right now. I'd give it to him. He has been fantastic. Definitely a great weapon for Big Ben in that offense. But like you said, it's going to come down to Titans offense and the Steelers defense.
Yeah, dude. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the Titans. You took the Titans too, right? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yes, I did. I think they will pull this one out.
Okay, let's move on to another game. Well, let's test your faith. Lions Falcons.
The Falcons will win this one. If they beat the Vikings, they will win this one easily. This game will be out of hand by. Actually, I'm not going to say that. I think the Lions will be up going into the fourth quarter, and then they'll blow the lead. That's honestly my prediction right now. Last time had I remember a ton of classic matchups between these two teams. Obviously, the Golden Tate, did it cross the line? Did it not? It did. They didn't. They didn't. They said it didn't, but it's all right. Lions get screwed by the refs every other weekend, it seems like. But nonetheless, the Falcons will take this one easily. Um, Go Falcons.
Yeah, this is the battle of the fourth quarter blowers. Um, this is actually very intriguing going into the fourth quarter. I would actually watch this game in the fourth quarter.
What team can play worse?
Dude, it's literally if the Lions lose this game, they gotta get rid of Matt Patricia, bro. They gotta get
I
rid of him.
Yes, yes, yes. I 100% agree. Get rid of Bob Quinn as well. Bob Quinn, sure he has made some great moves as a Lions GM, but man, you have not brought in the right coaches. Come on.
No, dude. But if they do win, hey, they're 500 and they're still in the playoff race.
Yeah, I suppose I would love to see this Lions team in the playoffs. It's one of the best I've ever seen. No, I'm kidding. It's not, but nonetheless, go Falcons.
Yeah, we'll see. Thank God that's a noon game. Speaking of new games, we'll go on to the game you mentioned earlier, Browns Bengals. Okay, this is a rematch of a pretty close Thursday night football game earlier, which we thought was going to be garbage, but it wasn't. Now we got the rematch.
I think that the Browns have gotten a lot better since then. Sure, they've lost last week to the Steelers, but I think this will be a game that Baker, just regroups his skills and plays an all around better game. Same with his wide receivers. As for the Bengals, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull this one out, but I just feel like this is a game that the Browns need to win to regroup their season and how they go forward. I like the Browns in this one. I'm going to pick the Browns.
I am inches away from picking the Cincinnati Bengals
I,
because
I,
I
w-
have
I
a
wouldn't be
gut
surprised.
feeling.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because I have a gut feeling that Joe Burrow might come out here and do some things. I have a bad feeling that Joe Burrow might have a big game because if he can do some things with that Colts defense early, I don't know what he's going to do with that Browns defense again. But yeah, you would think the Cleveland Browns would have to win this game, right? Because you know they're trying to be for real. They're trying to get that whole you can't win in the AFC North thing off their shoulders now, and Baker Mayfield might not, you know, be the franchise quarterback. They're trying to shrug all of that off right now, and I think this is the first step, the first real big step in this month for them to go ahead and do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Browns. If they lose this game, I think I have lost a lot of faith in them, but they should win this game.
Yes.
And here we go with another matchup that we might disagree with. I can already sense the disagreement. Panthers Saints.
You said you like what the Panthers are doing and how you still think they might be better than the Bucks, for at least the next 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I disagree. I think as bad as the Saints have looked in my eyes, I think they will take this one. Again, the Panthers, they really haven't proved much to me, but I'm not as confident with this pick as I was last week. I think that I honestly, I would love to see a Saints Bears matchup to really get a grasp on who's good and who's not. I'm going to take the Saints though. I think they will be able to beat this Panthers team, but if the Panthers do win this one, I would not be surprised either.
Uh-uh. The Panthers only have to worry about one person on that offense, and that's Alvin Kamara. You lock him up, it's over. And the Panthers, they'll do that. I mean, they only got one guy to lock up. It's not like the Bears absolutely torched them on the offensive end last week. So that defense can show up. It's basically just Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara now. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Panthers again.
Okay. Okay. Hey, I'm honestly not mad at this pick as I was last week because, again, they played the Bears last week. I would love to see a Saints Bears matchup to really again grasp who's good or not.
Well, you're gonna have to wait another week,
Yeah.
but you know, obviously that will be that's gonna be a good matchup. But yeah, I'm gonna pick the Panthers, dude. I, hey, this is the one. This is the one. I picked the Panthers a lot this year, but I have a feeling that this is the one.
All right.
you're, you're just gonna, dude. Oh my gosh, if I get this pick wrong again, oh boy.
You should or okay, just go out and say it. Announce your Panthers fandom because from these picks, you definitely got a Teddy Bridgewater jersey or a Christian McCaffrey jersey. Come on,
Nope.
announce your fandom to the Panthers.
Look, I love the Panthers, but I'm not a bandwagon.
Hey, I wouldn't even consider this bandwagon. I mean, sure, it might have been bandwagon when they made it to the Super Bowl against the Broncos, but now, I would respect this. I would respect the team selection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Okay, do we even have to make this pick? Bills and the Jets.
Honestly, if I were a piece of trash, the Jets would be my best friend. Honestly, the Jets are nothing more than a garbage. They are terrible. They are a terrible team. I could see them going 0-16. They are just they are one of the worst teams I've ever watched. I'm glad that Le'Veon Bell got out of there. Uh it's not pretty. Again, the Jets are the worst team ever in my eyes. That I've seen. I would love to see a matchup against them and the 0-16 Browns. I think that
Oh my gosh,
those two teams are the two
terrible.
worst teams that I've ever seen play. And yeah, I know the Lions went 0-16 first, but I don't remember any of that. For that's probably a good thing, but the Bills will take this one easily. You'd hope, you would really hope. I hope the
I
Bills
really.
don't get too down on themselves about the two straight losses, but uh,
This is
yeah,
the bounce back
they
week,
have to. They have to.
dude. No, I would be so upset if the Jets won this game. I would be so immensely upset.
Yeah.
You wouldn't understand, dude. This would upset me so badly. and I think it'll happen in Madden, but not in real life. I got the Bills, man. Circle the wagons.
I was gonna say, I was like, you think it's gonna happen? No. You got it.
I don't think,
I had my jaw dropped. I was like, oh no.
dude. I'm not pick. I don't think I'll pick the Jets for the rest of the year. I'm not. I don't. I doubt I'll even pick a New York team for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I don't
I.
blame you.
Oh my gosh, do those offenses suck. Um. But speaking of offense, hey, we got ourselves a shootout. Cowboys in Washington, or do we?
I noticed something last night while watching ESPN. They put at the bottom, Cowboys versus Washington, not Cowboys versus football team. Come on,
It's so inconsistent.
dude. And speaking about that, their owner said that that name will probably go into the 2021 season. So
How?
get ready for the football team for the next 2 years. Uh, wow,
Doesn't make sense.
this one, this is an ugly matchup. Both teams are really bad. Just I don't know. I'm getting a gut feeling towards the football team. I think the football team could. I think if they were to, I mean, they've lost 7 of the last 8 games versus Dallas, so I think this may be one that they can win. I feel like this is a great time for them to get a win, especially against the Cowboys. The Cowboys, ugh, they should look bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Washington football team too. As
Wow.
awkward as that sounds, um, I have really lost a lot of faith in the Cowboys, man. I thought this team could at least run away with the NFC least, at the very least, at least. But now it's looking like a dogfight, and they just might be tied with Washington after the day. Wow.
I don't think anyone would. I think they went from Super Bowl contender to NFC least uh, competitor.
Oh my gosh, dude! If Washington makes the playoffs, that's gonna be the story of the end. That's gonna sum up the NFC East.
Yeah, that that was. I don't like that division. I think if you take the Cowboys out of there and replace them with the Lions, I think the Lions would be able to win that division.
Dude, anybody can win that division.
Yeah, replace them with the Jets. See what happens.
Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting.
Would they get a
Uh,
game? Would they win a game?
can they? Can they? I don't know.
It-
Yeah, they would.
wow,
Let's
wow.
face it. But speaking of games, this is a sleeper game. This is definitely a sleeper game. I think this could be a really good game in Packers Texans.
I got Packers. Again, nothing really has impressed me about the Texans. I mean, their entire season really has gone downhill. They started off, they had a really tough schedule, and they they just haven't really been playing well. Again, they had that tough schedule. They fired their coach. They have an interim coach now. It's they everything has gone wrong this season for them, and I think that trend will continue today against the Packers. The Packers, sure, they lost to the Bucks, but I still think they're a good team.
I think Deshaun Watson is going to expose that defense.
Really?
I think he is going to expose that defense. I know the Titans are, you know, the Titans' offensive line is not as I don't know because the Bucks don't have the best offensive line either, but they still found a way to just drive the ball down Green Bay's throat. And you got a better, more mobile quarterback now in Deshaun Watson. Ooh, that's a great quarterback matchup. But my question to the Packers is: A, how do you bounce back? And B, how on earth do you stop Deshaun Watson? Because last week the Titans struggled to stop him. Dropped 36 on their head. Could have very well won that game. But some miscues, some a couple of bad calls. A couple of risks that didn't pay off, I should say. And obviously, the Texans, like you said, having a down year. but I expect them to put up a fight. I don't think they'll beat the Packers. I'll still take the Packers, but I would not. If there's one game that I would not be surprised that the other team would win, is this one
Hmm. Hey, I'm not mad at that.
because Deshaun Watson is a winner. He is a winner, and in situations like this is kind of where he, you know, tries to will his team. So I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm loving this matchup right here, bro. This was initially listed as the Sunday night matchup, but obviously it got moved up. Bucks Raiders, baby.
I like this matchup as well. I think this is going to be a great game. I could see a Raiders upset, but I could also see a Bucks win. I think the Bucks will take this one though. I really like everything about the Raiders, but the Bucks really impressed me last week. I'm impressed.
It's 50-50.
Yeah,
It's 50-50. I know the betters are saying Tampa has a, is a 4 point, favorite, but dude, this is 50-50. It's in Vegas. I don't know what to expect from this game, dude. I really don't. This better be on my local listings. Cuz I would be hot if it wasn't. Um I think this could be the game of the week right here. This could be the game of the week.
I agree.
Um I'll take the Buccaneers though. The Raiders, like I said, like you said, I love their team. This team is not the same Raiders team from 2 years ago. It's not. This is awesome, but I don't know. It's like if you can stop Mahomes, you can stop anybody. But oh my gosh, this is so crazy. You know what? Screw it. I'm changing my pick. I'm taking the Raiders.
Wow. Hey, again, I'm not mad at it. I think the Raiders could pull the upset here if it would even be considered an upset because both of these teams are really good.
Yeah, this should be a great game though. This should be a great game. But I'll take the Raiders. I'll stick with the AFC West though. So it's gonna be a bit snowy in Denver, but it's still Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs versus the Broncos.
I don't think we even really need to discuss this one. I think the Chiefs will definitely take this one easily. Sure, the Broncos beat the Patriots, but the Patriots and the Chiefs are on a whole different level.
Yeah. Well, this is awkward because Le'Veon. This is Le'Veon Bell's first game as a Chief, and this is going to be the first game where dudes can see and try to figure out mid-season how the heck are we going to stop the Chiefs with an extra weapon.
Yeah, they're stacking up. Same with the Buccaneers. We forgot Antonio Brown on their team. These two teams, and even the Ravens. The Ravens get Des Bryant. These teams are stacking up. These are looking like super teams in the NBA.
Yeah, dude. Now, one thing about the Antonio Brown signing, real quick, initially I was like, I'm happy for Antonio Brown that he, got a job again. Then I saw a column on USA Today. It was about how Antonio Brown signing, proves that the NFL doesn't care about, its women. And I was like, ooh boy. I was like, yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't just forget about what he's done off the field.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean that's why I was like surprised. Would he ever? I mean, on and off the field, would he ever play another game in the NFL? Obviously, he will. But how long will that last? Because he had a stint with the Raiders that didn't last long. A stint with the Patriots that lasted about a week.
yeah, I don't know how. I mean, hopefully he has humbled himself and matured because I mean, this is your second chance, dude. Make the most of it. But
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got a lot to prove. I hopefully he not only can he become a good player again, but I hope he can clean his slate with all those off the field antics and allegations and stuff because that is a bad look, and people are looking at the Buccaneers like, wow, you actually signed this dude. So hopefully it doesn't get ugly. I really don't want to see this get ugly. But you mentioned the Patriots earlier. Well, this is a homecoming for Jimmy Garoppolo, or as my friend would like to say, Jimmy Garoppolo. 49ers Patriots.
I'm gonna take. Oh, this is a tough one. I could see either team winning. Um, the 49ers have not impressed me. The Patriots, they've been a little bit underwhelming. Sorry,
I was about to say.
they have been a little bit underwhelming. I mean, they started off decent, then they've struggled a little bit at times. I think I'm going to take the 49ers. I think it's going to be close. I'm not too confident with the pick. I really like this matchup. It's been fun watching Cam Newton in a Patriots uniform.
Yeah, it really has, but obviously the offense has been struggling a little bit. I'm going to have to take the 49ers too. That run game really propelled them against the Rams. And the Patriots, I don't think they're any better than the Rams. So, you know, obviously it's in New England, but still, dude, the 49ers, when they get that run game going, and plus they got Garoppolo and George Kittle back, oh boy. Yeah, I got the 49ers, man. Well, we got ourselves a bottom of the barrel matchup, couple of one-win teams, the Jaguars and the Chargers.
I'm going to take the Chargers. The Chargers have absolutely gotten screwed out of so many of their games. I mean, it's almost hard to watch. I mean, the Chargers realistically they should have 3 wins. Um, uh, I like the Chargers. I think they will take this one. The Jaguars. I mean, you let the Lions beat you, so I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree. I'll take the Chargers. Justin Herbert's been tearing dudes up, and if he can keep up with Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Drew Brees, he can definitely keep up with Gardner Minshew. No disrespect towards my boy Gardner, but you're not on that level yet.
Oh
So
man,
I'll take No, not San Diego. Los Angeles, because Los Angeles just knows how to lure sports teams into their city. Man, I wish they were San Diego. Okay, we got a Sunday night matchup. It's flexed, but not for the reasons that we are normally, um, used to. But it's still a Sunday night football game between two NFC West teams who can very well be, front runners in their respective divisions. Seahawks, Cardinals, baby.
I'm gonna take the Seahawks. The Seahawks have looked very impressive. I think that Russell Wilson right now could be the MVP. Um, as for the Cardinals, they started off well. They struggled a little bit. Now they're playing well again. I just don't think they'll play well enough to beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks look pretty good.
I'm taking Arizona. Air raid.
Wow, wow.
Air raid. Look, I know you expect everybody to whip on the Cowboys. I'm not picking the Cardinals because they whipped on the Cowboys. Everybody should whip on the Cowboys. But I just think when I'm looking at the matchup, the Seahawks offense can fizzle out at times. They had, a lot of, struggles against that Minnesota defense, a couple of weeks ago. And the thing about the Seahawks is it can't just be Russell Wilson throwing a DK Metcalf all game long. That can't be the case. The Seahawks can't get one dimensional. And I'm not saying they will get one dimensional, but I don't know if they can, I don't know if they'll have a running game in this game against the Cardinals. And then their coverage is not that bad either. Byron Murphy and Patrick Peterson, that's not a bad, you know, defensive back duo right there. And I'm not saying they're shut down corners just yet this season, but I think match up well against DK Metcalf and I mean whoever you want to put as the number 2 receiver, Lockett. Um, but I obviously we're going to be looking at that Seahawks defense versus that Arizona offense, and I think that Arizona offense can be better than that Seahawks defense because it's definitely not the Legion of Boom, but
Yeah.
obviously they can still get the job done, but it's not the same, and they've been dealing with injuries too. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Cardinals in this one.
I'm surprised by that, but hey, if they win, they win. That would be a huge win for Cardinals there.
Yeah, it definitely would. Speaking of huge wins, we got two other teams looking for a huge win, and this is Good Monday nighter. The Bears and the Rams.
I'm gonna take the Rams. The Rams are at home. They have played well at home since 2018. They're 14-4. I I like the Rams. Sure, they had those. I wouldn't say tough two losses, but I definitely think they have improved from last year. I really like their team. Um, the Bears, I'm not too sold on them being great. I'm going to take the Rams, so I think this may be a humbling game for the Bears. And if they somehow pull this one off, I think we can get into the talks of them being a good team, and that is here to stay.
If there's one thing about me and the Bears, it's that we are consistently inconsistent. I know last week I doubted them against the Panthers, but I'm not doubting them against the Rams, man.
There you go. There you go. There it is. I'm actually glad you take them here because last week I don't know what you were doing.
Well, I wasn't that off. I was one game winning drive away from being right. But um but seriously though, look, these teams over the past couple of years when they matched up, it's been a defensive slugfest. I mean, the games were so defensive. I mean, getting to 20 points was like trying to get to 40. This is that difficult to score on these two defenses. But you want to talk about not being sold on the Bears? I'm not sold on the Rams. The only teams they've beaten are the NFC East teams. And when they have matched up against the teams outside the NFC East, yeah, you fell down 28-3 to the Bills, came back, but you still lost the game. Of course, they probably should have won the game because of that pass interference, but that's besides the point. You still lost the game. And then you go out and lose to a 49ers team, banged up. It's just it offense is basically Mostert, Garoppolo, and Kittle. And of course Debo Samuel. But obviously the team is not as healthy as they, normally are. Then you got, you know, your offense is inconsistent. It's like an on and off switch because the defense is keeping them in games. And if you're letting Daniel Jones have a chance to tie the game late on his last drive, that's how you know you're in a little bit of trouble because that shouldn't be happening. I know the Bears did it too, but
I was about to say I could say the same thing for the Bears. They got bailed out in the first couple of weeks. I mean, all that DeAndre Swift has to do is catch the ball, and then the Bears would have lost their first game, and then a few drives towards the end that end up in interceptions and whatnot. Hey, to both of these teams, they have been they've gotten, I wouldn't say sold out, but they have been. None of these teams have had truly dominant wins.
no, they haven't. And this is the prove it game. This is definitely the prove it game. And it's not just for playoff positioning, it's also just for validation.
Yeah,
Just straight validation. So, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears. That defense is nasty. I know I really probably should have said this last week, but that defense against the Rams, it's like the Bears have their number. It's like the Bears just have Jared Goff's number. And Khalil Mack, he's definitely, heading back to his form where he was in 2018. So that's a scary sight in itself. But dude, yeah, I'm taking the Bears. And you don't have to worry about Trubisky throwing interceptions. Well, I won't say interceptions, but just missing guys. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Chicago here.
I'm actually glad you made that pick because it redeemed yourself from last week.
Redemption.
Yes.
Come on, that was not that bad of a pick, man.
I thought we were picking for success.
Well, yeah, I know it's wins and losses, but you've had your picks where
Hey,
where you know
I've
I
been I've been consistent though.
yes you are. I'm definitely a bit more consistent, especially with the upset picks. But yeah, dude, just I mean, it's like as the season goes on, the rivalry just heats up.
I like it.
It definitely gives us something to talk about. But speaking of things to talk about, I'm gonna shift back to baseball because that's what my trivia question was centered around. Um, I asked you which inning produced the most runs up until the World Series.
Okay. I believe I said the first in Was the other, did I say seventh?
Did you? Do you stick? Do you stand by that?
Yes, I said first because the Dodgers and the Astros, they had some pretty crazy first innings, and it's for the seventh inning that just seems like an inning that it produces a lot of runs for some reason in the regular season and the postseason.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, I'm here to tell you, Andrew, that it's actually a tie. It
Really?
is a tie between the seventh inning and the fourth inning with
Yes,
52 total runs.
dude. I actually got a trivia question correct. That was crazy.
Yeah,
Um, uh,
halfway.
I'm impressed. As for the fourth inning, I'm honestly not surprised. I feel like yeah, that makes sense. A lot of runs do, or a lot of runs are produced in the fourth inning. I'm not surprised with that at all.
Yeah, and you said the first inning, dude. You were close because in the seventh and fourth innings, it's 52. The first, it's 50.
Dude, I almost had that perfect. That's crazy.
Almost. Now, although the fifth inning snuck in between with 51, um, that yeah, you're right. The first, the fourth, and the seventh innings somehow have always produced the most runs, and that's before the World Series. That's
Yeah,
from wild card to NLCS Game 7.
yeah. Hey, I'm just happy I got one right.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, you've observed your baseball. You know, a lot of like you
Yes,
said, a lot of runs have been scored late. So I mean, those late inning runs, those are obviously the most memorable.
yeah.
You know, because it's late in the game. But yeah, you almost got it spot on, man.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, but there's also some interesting, numbers here. Obviously, I read off the three. So the second inning, there's been 40. Third inning is 48. The sixth inning is 47. The eighth inning, jaw dropping 30.
I was gonna say, I feel like the eighth inning, as we saw yesterday, was one of the only innings that the Rays did not score a run.
Yeah, the trend continues. And then the ninth inning, wow, a whopping 40 runs.
Wow,
40.
yeah, that is a lot.
And obviously the one run scored by the Braves in the 13th, but that doesn't count.
Yeah,
But yeah, dude, that's my trivia question from last week. I definitely did all the math right there.
wow, impressive.
Now what's yours?
Well, on the topic of Big Ten, the college football coming back, I just gave a hint there. Um, who is the only mascot to ever make the cover of NCAA football? Who is it?
A mascot?
Whose mascot has been just iconic? There's a few of them.
It's got to be Brutus, right?
Could be. It could be. It could not be. Who knows? Who
Hmm.
knows? I mean, like I said earlier, I'll give a hint. It is in the Big Ten, so there are some iconic mascots there.
Dang. So the only mascot to make it on the cover of NCAA football.
Could be the Scarlet Knight.
Yeah, that'd be weird, but yeah, that'll be interesting to uncover next week.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. You don't really think of mascots being on the cover of video games.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll definitely try to figure that out. But yeah, dude, obviously we talked about a lot, dude. I still can't get over Brett Phillips.
Yeah,
I can't get over it.
that was just again pretty crazy. Hey, who knows? That could be a momentum shifter, a series changer. Who knows? I mean, I guess we'll have to see. I think the series will be over by our next episode. So
Yeah.
whoever wins, good luck. I picked the Dodgers. I still stand by that, but I would love to see the Rays win it.
Can I be honest? That game 4 was the best baseball game that I had ever seen in my life. I
Yeah,
didn't think anything was going to top Dodgers Astros game 5,
it
but it
was
did.
it was a great game.
I know you've seen a lot, but I haven't.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry, and I'm not even talking about recency bias. I've watched full baseball games to its full length since 2016. I've seen some things, for the last 5 years, but that was the greatest baseball game I had ever watched. better than Cubs Indians Game 7, better than Dodgers Astros Game 5, better than the David Bodie Grand Slam against the Nationals, better than any Nationals game that I had watched last year in that run. That game between the Rays and the Dodgers in that Game 4 last night, that was so good.
Yeah,
It,
it was a good game.
that was the greatest baseball game I had ever seen in my life. I will end it on that. Ever.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I honestly I'm not mad at that. It's definitely up there. That was a fantastic game.
Yes, dude. And it's my all time. It is that is my all time favorite. But we'll save that for next week when we wrap up the World Series. But for now, I guess I'll see you same time next week.
Yes, sir. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or any other streaming device. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias at Top of the Standings on Twitter and at Top of the Standings on Instagram and Facebook. This has been Top of the Standings. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. And we'll see you guys next week. And we'll see you guys next week. And we'll see you guys